Greetings, Laser Spec Gaming here. Music's by Iceferno. Just going to make a little overview of a old world from a creative server. So, I've already made a video on the survival server that was hosted at the time. I think around the end of 2017 or 18. But this one's a creative server which we used for doing technical builds with redstone. So this is the Metropolis server, which was mainly me and Deltalambda, and we were building a grid system. So the idea is everything in the world was connected via a central energy grid, three-phase power. So Delta did a lot of the track laying over there, the redstone digging for the pylons and underground cables, and he also built a lot of hotels. So we also built a bunch of hotels and buildings to simulate houses that are powered by the grid system. It's been a while since I played this, so I might just remember a few things as I go. There's a couple of backup generators and there's some notification systems. All of this uses command blocks really, for like wireless redstone and control, and everything that's actually connected to the grid is connected via redstone and repeaters that goes across pylons or on the ground. So several control panels here. I've designed these control panels. It's actually quite a clever design I had. So command block to send it, and then it gives you a feedback based on whether it has a redstone block there or not for the display. So we can turn the output of phase 1 yellow phase off, which is over here. The middle one's now off. We can turn the left phase off, which is blue phase. If I break the button, blue phase, you'll see the state reflected. That's an actual feedback, so it has to actually be off for that, if I remember correctly. Phase 3 out. So those are all off now, and that's reflected on the control panel here. So we turn those to outer 2 on. You see it's reflected there. That would go up to the pylon. For some reason there's no repeaters, I'm not sure why. Last time we played on this we must have took them out. Let's put those repeaters in. That goes up. Let's see if we can get the pylon working. That goes up here. Goes up the pylon. We designed these pylons. We also designed a few different types of pylon you'll see later on. So yeah, it comes up to the pylon here. Which phases do we have on? Just the outer 2 at the moment, so it's going to be outer 2 are here. I don't think that got a strong enough signal. Which one's it going into? There's some issues here. World files have corruption in Minecraft, believe it or not. Not sure why, but I mean this is the same version we last played on, but something must have got corrupted during an upgrade. Gosh damn. Right, that one's working. Anyway, that one comes on there. For some reason this one must be missing a torch somewhere, or it's inverted. Let's have a look. But you get the idea, torch tower up to the top. It's probably just inverted. Yeah, we designed these pylons. So anyway, let's get those phases back on, the middle phase back on. So this control panel here hits that command block, which places a block over here, I believe, on the bottom floor somewhere. We'll see that state reflected over here. This is crazy stuff. I can't remember how all this is done. There's a bunch of crazy stuff. I went mad one day and decided to do all this. It's just tons of command blocks. I think the states are reflected over here. So currently there's none. Let's pretty sure there's a state, so there's several layers actually. It could be one of these. And it should say which control panel I'm supposed to be looking at. It's control 3. I'm not sure why the signs are stuck in the roof. Control 2, which is what we're on, I think. We're on control 1. That'll be control 1 over here. Control 1 is complete, panel 1, okay. So we should see the states reflected over here. Let's have a little mess around to see if those states are affected. These are the isolators here, which are again controlled by these up here, and these tapes, isolator tapes. So, I think there's one, what's that one there? So each phase is offset for the tape, and then there's one that isolates all at the same time, I believe. Yeah. So there's an isolator for each phase, and then an isolator for all 3 phases at once. Anyway, let's even change the state. So these are on at the moment. You see, there's when they're off, you'll have glass bits like that. So let's just punch through and demonstrate. Again, I came up with all this just one day. This is years ago, though, so someone else might have come up with this design by themselves. There's only so many things you can invent before someone else invents it. Okay, that state hasn't been reflected over here, so it's probably reflected the state up here. Let's have a look. Okay, sure. I think these here are for the display feedback, if I remember correctly. I had to start this clock, and these just it tests for certain states in the system, and then it outputs that here somewhere. Yeah, and these output the states to reflect it back in the control panel. So when I press that button, it places a redstone block somewhere. I think it's probably, where has it done that to? Let's have a look. What do we change? A middle phase on output of 1, so something would have changed. It's middle phase off. Somehow middle phase is off, right? So it shifted this one here. I'm not sure where the control signal. See, this one's activated, but so is the other ones. Well, how's that any different? Let's have a look. That places a block somewhere, which then changes this isolator, which I can't see how that's changing right now because I must be stupid. And what happens is this over here updates the display of a constant holding signal. I'm not sure why we're not getting any changes down here on control 1. We should see blocks behind here, I think. Unless it's just a single pulse. It might be a single pulse to do a bud. Or to do a flip-flop. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's phase 2. So your phase 1 is a pylon over here. Output 2, sorry. 3 phases. Output 2. 3 phases. That's the main one that's hooked up to everything. So I'm hoping if we do, I don't know if that works in this version. Oh, it does. You'll see everything is quite bright and lit up. The city is alight because it has power from the grid system. Grid system's coming in all 3 phases here from that power station, and it's going to the substation here. Substation has pass-through, not sure what the pass-through is at the moment. Grid input line, so we can kill the grid input. Local output, you know, the step down voltage, blank. Auxiliary lighting, so I mean, I think that's backup lighting. Oh, well, oh yeah, it is a lighting, it's just very, very laggy. Auxiliary, yeah, let's go into the back. So these are all designed so water doesn't damage the cable. Water floods this area, it doesn't flood the underground cable. And this is again another design I came up with for running redstone over long distance. You do water too many times, water floods your tunnels too many times, and you have to design something. These coloured bits are just to make it much easier to see where all the phases run. There's various ways they pass over each other. There's a whole standard basically came up with. The redstone runs on iron blocks, a bit like Etho's idea for redstone on stone bricks. So if you're ever digging around, you know what's got redstone on it. But the difference is, so we can give you an example. every so many blocks there should be a... I have to dig up one of these. Every so many blocks there's a system that prevents flooding from going too far down the tunnel. I don't know if I can demonstrate it. You have to dig up a ton of stuff to find it. Maybe not. Well, okay, I'm not going to be able to see that, am I? Maybe over here. Certainly when it enters and exits the building anyway, you see it passes through here. This one here is using a torch, but if that floods it won't get back in here. But there's also something slightly different, which I can't see right now. Looks like we may have not implemented it here. But the idea is essentially pass it down like that, and then you get a glass, if I got a glass. And then that is your protection, so what happens is you get water. Water floods this bit here. Oh no, it's flooded all that. But this cable over here is still fine, so you only have to fix this section. So that was something else I came up with. Again, someone's probably already done that a million times, but that was what I came up with anyway. So is that back online? Yep. Good enough. Right, so these are all lit up. These are all hotels that we made to make it look like it was all powered by grid system. Here is another type of pylon we designed. This is a sort of like carry them above each other. There's a sort of mini based on UK English pylon designs. You've got ones where it's a single pole, carries it kind of like that, and then you've got the big, huge, several 100 kV ones. I think this is a substation here. This is a backup generator substation. We'll get back into that one. You'll see that in a sec. So at the moment we've got all three phases. It's based on the UK phase colours. Those are all on output 2. Let's go turn those off and see what happens. Control panel 1. Right, let's turn off phase. Let's turn all of them off. Right, let's hurry up and get out there. Should be able to see everything go dark. All of them are off. So you'll see some text in chat. There's a ton of lag happening right now. You'll be surprised how much lag redstone causes. And everything in the city should be going dark. Yep. Very slowly it's happening. Everything goes dark. Now there's a... So I'm seeing in text chat there, there's a backup generator. So I got to try and remember where that is. I think it's this over here. Again, it's been a while since I played on this map, so I'm trying to remember what the heck we did. Looks like the backup generator isn't kicked in yet though. It might have just been certain buildings that had backup generators. I think some were hospitals. Again, based on real life. This was quite cool. This is we're gonna have a ton of lag while this happens. It's gonna be lagging for ages while all this. It's mainly the lighting updates, because it's all the lights in the buildings are powered by any redstone is all powered by this grid system. So all your redstone stops working, all your lights stop working if the grid is down. Oh, there's a railway. There's a rail line here as well. The rail line is again powered off the grid. So no trains can run on the electric rail line without the grid system. Still lagging like mad at the moment. Right. Oh, damn. Right, I think we're most of the lag's over now. So this one here, the pylon steps down, goes into this little doohickey. And you got all this stuff here which allows the pylon to go underground, converts into an underground cable. 3 different phases there. Goes off. I think the farm over here is running with a backup generator, if I remember correctly. Let's have a look. I'm not sure how you get under there. I'm just going to break my way in. So some of these buildings had machine rooms, so there was a staircase after all. Let's have a look what we've got here. Interesting. Power's coming out of that. Is that the backup generator? Ah, this is the, I guess that's a representation. That's a representation of the backup generator, and I suspect that's what's giving us, yep, That's keeping the farm online in the case of a outage, because it's you know, you need your crops to grow when there's a power failure. You see all the lights above keeping it all growing. This here is a TARDIS. This has control for, if that works. Oh, it does work. It's control room for most stuff. Automated, keep it day, keep it night. Those are on. Obviously they're not working. I think backup generator is online, this one, so this one has a backup generator. I suspect this needs a clock to run. I suspect there needs to be a clock running. Some of these things require a clock, and the clock is probably stopped because, oh my gosh. Well, that one works. Note to self, always use this clock design because it actually works after the world has been offline for ages. Anyway, well, that's a teleporter pad. Yeah, it just takes us upstairs. The good old item drop. That's how we did the time delays, despawn time. That's all the control stuff. That again goes up here, which has extra. There's 3 or more levels of control for that. These are all for keeping the difficulty set, the weather clear and stuff. Because it's a creative server, you're not going to want it going dark all the time if you're trying to do loads of redstone builds. Anyway, let's get that phase. We'll get one of the phases back online. Let's just make sure it's still quite dark. We'll power up one of those phases and you'll see it come through. I really want to show how that stuff over there works. Yeah, the phase isolators, we've got the 3 phases coming out. These are the, whatever you want to call it, the nuclear fuel cells in this power station. This is the main power station with the grid. 3 phases coming out, and then go into these isolators over here, which are like piston tape isolators. So 1 for each phase, and then you got 1 for all 3 phases, so you can isolate all 3 at the same time, I believe. Yeah, so that one, that one, that one, and then all 3. So turn one of those back on. I'm going to get a ton of lag. While that's happening, let's turn off all the lighting inside this building. So we can turn the floor lighting. Alright, sorry about that. So let's turn the lighting off in here. So the floor lighting's off and the ceiling lighting's off in here. I'm not sure why that's not being updated. Oh, control panel, this one probably isn't hooked up fully. Control 2 probably doesn't have its feedback circuit working. So there's 1 circuit for the control output and then 1 for the feedback for the display. I'm really curious why these aren't being placed here. I'm trying to remember what this is. I think it only toggles the state. Oh, of course, it only toggles the state. Yeah. Okay, I just remembered how it works. That button over here deletes and replaces that block. Yep, I've just isolated all 3 supplies. So that's what it does. It does that. And then this device over here with the clock checks the states and reports it back to that display panel. So that actually does represent the true state over there. You should be able to see it change. Let's see if we can get it to change. So which one's on? That one's on. Turn that one off. Is that one off? That one's on. Don't want that one. Middle one. No. Right, middle one's off. And the right one's on. I'm creating a ton of lag right now. Yep. Okay. But that one's not being reflected because I think this last one's off. Yeah, so none of them on. Right, should see. I want the right one to come on. And we're going to shift the right one on. Okay. I don't want to isolate. So we have the right one on. So we haven't even used the control panel, and it should reflect, the display should still reflect the correct state. There we go. Got worried for a sec. So this, it doesn't ever desync. This is always, that there will just remove the block down here and replace the block. There you go, you just caught the tail end of it. And then it reports the state back by monitoring it. Okay, so that's how that bit works. What else can we show? Should be able to see stuff lighting back up. It's going to be laggy as hell. We can hopefully capture some of this all coming back up. We've only got, which phase do we have on? There's only 2 of the phases on at the moment. That's good enough for me. So that means some of the city isn't going to be lit up, because the phases are divided up into different sections of the city. Just waiting for the lag to die down. Yep, see this bit here? So the substation here is taking that really high power stuff in, supposedly changing the voltage, converting it down. And you can see only those 2 phases are on here. It's being represented here. It's going in here. So yeah, if you're riding this rail line and there's a power failure, your cart's going to stop on the track. I don't think there's a backup generator supply for this rail line. You can have a look. These hotels are pretty cool. So we didn't build the hotels all by hand. What we did, you build a floor, and then we did have World Edit on this server, so we could do lots of mass terraforming, and you just repeat the design up. But all the lighting in these buildings is all powered by the grid. This is a central power column normally. All these ceiling lights are probably, the ceilings are all generally free thick, so you can fit all the redstone in there. Yeah, that goes up, etc. You get the idea. That's glass. So let's have a look over here. This is where the power is coming out. Oh, that's where it goes through. Here's a train station. That looks really nice actually. So we got some power, not all the power. Let's check where that's coming in. Ah, power's coming in over here. So it's coming off the pylon. Train station's being powered off the pylon. It goes in here, which is a substation by the looks of it. So we've got 2 phases on. One of the phases is out. You can toggle the output on or off. Should be a lever there. Obviously isn't. Probably not for security. So all the lighting in here, again powered by the grid. Power's coming in. And then we just got an isolator here, so you can isolate that locally. This is flood protection stuff again, so this area floods back here, it's not going to come in or out. That's quite common. And that's with the lighting. So the lighting, that's why half the lighting's on, but not on the railway track. One phase is on the lighting, the other phase is actually for the railway track. So we can kill all phases here if we want, locally isolate those at a substation, and you'll get no lighting output or phase output. So there we go. So it's quite cool. So we'll turn that back on. We should be able to catch that railway track, come back up. Oh, that's too quick for us. Right. Another hotel. That hotel is obviously on one of those phases that are on at the moment. This building is quite dark. It's probably on the phase that's out. Yep, it's on the red phase, so that building is out at the moment, unfortunately. So we might be able to ride this railway track if it actually works. We could try ride it. Let's have a look at the substation there. Or did we check that one out? Ah, and a backup power station over here, I believe. This is your secondary power generator. It's Nothing's coming out of it at the moment by the looks of it. This is the old school isolator design. Top down. Looks like it's isolated at the moment. So there is some supply coming through here. Where's our supply coming through? Ah, wow. This is my old lab. That is the old lab. God. This is the old redstone lab. I think my lab had its own power source, that's why. And my lab was a substation. What have we got going on here? There's various stuff here. All sorts of craziness. Control panel designs were awful up in here. So this is a remote control unit by the looks of it, I think. I could toggle that red phase back on from here, I think. Let's have a look if that actually works. I should be able to remotely toggle it on. We should see this red phase come up, I think. If that remote control panel works. There's a possibility it doesn't. Do you know what? I just remember what that does. That doesn't toggle that. That toggles. I think that toggles these over here. Or does it? Oh, okay. Where are we? Where were we? Obviously there is some stuff going on there. Have a look at that later. So, middle one's off. I think that was what that did. No. I'm not sure what that's doing. All three phases. Where is that controller? It's doing something. I suspect it is controlling this, but this requires a clock. Again, don't rely on clock designs that require manual reboots by the looks of it. Ah, it's grid phase power. Ah. So it is working probably. We just need to toggle that. Ah, okay. This is so I can control my local three-phase input. So it's my own isolator from the grid system here in the lab. I can hook up to the three-phase supply. But because one of the phases out on the grid, we're not going to get all three, but we can isolate them locally here. That's what that is. Right. What is that? That is an entrance to the old generator room. Oh gosh. I think we could do with some pat test. Do you know what? I'm gonna have to I remember how this works. Okay. I'll come back to that one. Let's have a look up here. So autosave. Let's have a look. Up here was clearly some tests that were being done with delays. That was probably for huge. I'm not sure what we were testing here. Just like capacitance of the comparators. All sorts of crazy stuff. Just messing around with various redstone contraptions, because why not do that on a multiplayer server? So it's like we're playing, so that's why we have the three-phase grid supply here. We can just hook it straight up. I'm glad I made these windows so I can fly in and out. Over here, what was it we got? I have no idea what it is. That makes sense. Flying machines, I had a flying machine here. I believe that's a garage door shutter, so that's probably not going to work, because that is reliant on a clock, which again isn't going to be started up until we start. I don't think that's going to work. Start the clock of it. This one definitely had a clock if I remember correctly. Yep, don't use these clock designs, honestly. Use the comparator clock, because it auto starts if you ever have the server down. So we should get a blinking light here or something. Makes sense. Blinking light, polling enabled. So we got polling underneath. So we should be able to open the garage door. This is an old school flying machine. No idea if it works. So we got. Should we open the garage door? Maybe not. We may have a problem. Well, it's not very promising, is it? closed cycle complete. I need to open the garage door, please. Yeah, I don't think that's working. I don't think that's going to work. There was a way. Oh, that's just the same way. Well, that's no good, is it? Why is my garage door not working? Okay. I have a feeling that's stuck. I might see that working. Right, garage door's open. Is that going to close it? Oh, we're not going to get it closed. For some reason it's not being checked. I don't know why. There's a glitch. Let's try to replace that block. Oh, they're called redstone lamps, aren't they? No. I don't think it's going to work. Anyway, you get the idea. Auto closes and opens when it works. For some reason that block there isn't wanting to move. But that would move over there. You can see the garage door close or not. There you go, it's fully closed this time. And it opens up. And it closes. So that's how it's supposed to work. Obviously, that's not working. Oh, maybe it is working now. Maybe I fixed it. No, no. So power to output. There is no such block with the name Minecraft 125. Minecraft 125. Obviously, block names are changed. Ah, I think they all changed over to redstone lamp. So if we change that to redstone lamp, it'll probably work. Right, what a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. I hate that when they changed all those over to the stupid soft names. They should have kept it as the item IDs. Just makes it much easier for programming. I guess it makes it more explicit when you see the command block. Like if you just open it up, you know, oh, that's redstone lamp, but it makes the commands much longer. And if you really know what you're doing, you just to know all the item IDs. So now my garage door works, and the flying machine should work, but I think it's broken. I'm not going to get it going. Oh dear. Why do I keep doing that? Alright, that isn't going to work, is it? Oh, it is. Ah, take that off. No? Maybe we needed that. Obviously not. That didn't require tape to it. Nope. They're no longer working. Obviously the budding's not happening. So what else do we have here? Probably not much stuff interesting there. So really you get the idea. And it goes off site to far away. That's the lab. It's kind of really most of the stuff. Still got this walkway so you can walk around. Yeah, get the idea. So output 1, 2, 3. Output 1, 2. External power. I don't know. Oh, the external power is from. So the other this pylon also carried external power in. So. So the roll off it went. Yeah, there's the external power. So if we want to in this power station, we can take external power in. Should see those update. Obviously not working. External power. So I can hear it shifting. So this should be... I know what's going on. We need to turn off this here. All in. That probably needs shifting. Is that gonna work? It's probably that. There we go. We just had these isolate all at the same time. These isolate all 3 phases. So now we can have the external power incoming. Wireless control panel. All coming in like that, nicely. And we can isolate all 3. Isolate them all. And it goes off. It goes off over there, you see it isolates all of them. Already this panel I didn't get the feedback loop in for it yet. Control 2. I'm not sure what that was on the side, probably a wireless control unit. Reactors, it looks like those didn't get implemented, I don't think. Because can't see any of that happening. So, remote substation, I'm not sure whether that worked. Remote reactor shutdown toggle. Backup reactor. We can have a look what's inside. Nah, it's not doing anything. So those weren't obviously hooked up yet. Yeah. Panel 1. So you can see the checks here. It's polled and updated. So hopefully you got the idea of how it works. This video's probably gone on way too long. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is all designed to look like the substation, where it's all fenced off. Or pylon, sorry. Let's try and ride the railway track then as a final thing. I suspect some of it's not going to be on unless I put all 3 phases back on. I'm going to need all 3 phases for that. Nope. Let's turn that phase on and let's ride the railway track and let's call it a day. So let's turn that, put that to the middle phase on. Right. System okay. Command blocks is what made this possible. Let's see. Okay, this will come on. We'll come back to this. That'll be on later. The redstone still propagating for that phase. How do we remove that? There we go. Oh, fucking brilliant! Of course. I don't know if I can get away trying to break that cart. Let's try it. Cool. Which one is it? Ah, friendly creatures. Yeah, it's always under a stupid name, those sparrow carts. So we get music by Iceferno. So we pass through a little bit of a tour. We have no idea the play time on this world. The statistics are probably wrong. Someone played in 3 days, I reckon. And obviously that's no good. So we'll just go back the other way, see if there's anything on the other end of this railway track. I can't remember if there is or isn't. So yeah, this world ended in about 2018, I believe. Although there wasn't much development on it for a while before that. That's my lab. Each floor has an input. For goodness sake. Well, obviously that's a fail, isn't it? Let's push on. Something's not powering that for some reason. This is a subway we were designing. So we were also designing a subway, although I don't remember if we had the track isolation working. It looks like we didn't actually have it. Stop the minecart. So, subway tunnels. Probably why the track is de-energized, because it was being messed around with. So, we were starting to experiment with minecart subways. These, okay, so that's where the track power is supposed to be coming from. The lights are separate. So I mean, I think we had it so we could actually isolate, turn off this section of track here to stop the train. There's the lighting. And back here is some very odd style redstone. That's fine, so we come down here like that. It's supposed to be getting power from over this direction. Looks like we never got power going to it. Okay, not sure why that is. Probably just messing around. All the chunks got messed up with. So, so yeah, it's been told Metropolis server. It's been spec. Thanks for checking it out, etc. What the heck is this? Okay.